Hello and welcome to Musician versus Musician.
You fucked it up.
I know, I told you this
immediately.
is going to happen, and you know what? This is exactly what. Yeah, you do it.
Hello
he's
and
going to leave this
welcome.
in as well, by the way.
Hello and welcome to Musician versus Musician, a podcast / gig where every week we talk about a different music thing. And that's the old one.
You went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
There we
Do you
go.
want Dave to have a go?
Yeah, go on, Dave. You
Go on.
go. Do it.
No.
Great.
Have you got it written down on there?
No.
I'll do it every time.
I'm not going to do it.
I wrote this down for a while,
Yeah,
and then I
we
went
read it
so off
approximately
script.
the first 3 times, and then
Yeah.
it just became whatever we wanted to do this time.
Exactly.
So there we go. May have noticed we've got other people on today.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't even going to bring that up. We
were just going to ignore
straight
you
in.
solidly for the whole thing.
Yeah, so this week we have a very special interview with a band that I actually really like, and I'm less comfortable than I usually am because I've seen these guys live and they're really good. They're from a place that I know,
It's too late now.
Derby,
Yay!
which only like 4 of our listeners will know of. And
If that.
2 of them are my parents. Just kidding, they don't listen, they don't like this. I
I
swear.
was going to say they don't like what we talk about.
I swear too much, so...
There we go.
Yeah, we've got Supersonic Death Monkey, or
Well.
at least 2 components of Supersonic Death Monkey with us here today. Hi guys.
Hello.
I said I was going to let you lead and I've immediately taken over.
I'm
Leia,
okay with it.
take over.
No,
So I didn't
yeah,
write
fine.
down any of the questions that
Well,
we
we're-
wanted to talk about today.
It's incredibly rude of you, I think, as well. We're with Josh and Dave of Supersonic Death Monkey, which I think I said
Supersonic
wrong.
Death
Yeah.
Monkey.
See, I can't say it. This is what happens when you get me to do it.
Do you want to try again?
No. Death Monkey, the band. That'll do.
That's what we call it. When we're
Yeah.
talking about
Call it
Death
Death
Monkey.
And
That's
what-
a secret, that is.
That is, it's not a secret anymore. We've outed it to some people in Japan, apparently. So what do you guys do in the band? What do you play?
I'm the drummer.
And I am the guitar player and lead singer.
Ooh.
2 things.
2 things.
I know.
We actually had a conversation off mic where Josh asked me, do you only do vocals then? And now I understand that it's because he was mocking me
Yeah.
for not doing
Sorry, I thought you
more
knew
than
that.
one thing.
I was just trying to pass the time. I wasn't setting out to mock you, but
But
That
also,
worked out.
if you can get a mock in, do.
do.
Yeah.
How
That's the
about it?
rules here.
You guys released an EP recently.
Yay! Yes, you
We
did.
did.
How did that go? How was the release process?
It was longer than you would think.
It always is.
More expensive, but also we were kind of not too upset about the expense because we paid for a lot of it by selling t-shirts and merch.
That's the cool way to do it.
Yeah, which we didn't do with the first one. We just put money in. But yeah, we're happy with it. Recording went well. Cover looks really cool.
It does look really cool.
It does look cool.
Who did your art, guys? Do you want to plug him?
Yeah, it's the Squid Monkey, Pete Seymour. You can search for him. His
a sick
Instagram
name.
is the Squid Monkey. He's a good friend of mine. He does amazing artwork. He's a comic book artist and illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have friends with weird animal-related names as well. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
just...
not-
Yeah,
just
he's
you.
a monkey as well. But
Yeah.
a
Okay.
different type. He's not a death monkey. He's a squid monkey.
Mhm.
Okay. Is it all monkey something? Or
Well,
can
there's
you
a
be
whole
other
community
animals?
of monkeys that you don't know about because you're not monkeys.
That's valid.
I
Man.
shouldn't really talk too much about it, but yes, there's a whole monkey thing
Fight
going
Club
on.
rules.
Wait, how do we get involved in the monkey community?
Yeah, what
you
if
have to be
can we
monkey.
be-
You have to be a sort of monkey.
Okay.
Like you can't be a death monkey or a squid monkey. They're already taken.
If we
Oh,
were
it's-
monkeys,
yeah,
what
okay.
monkeys would we be?
I don't know. You have to decide your own.
It's your
Like,
own.
Okay,
I'll-
alright.
It's like
I'll ask
wands.
you.
It
If you were a
chooses you,
monkey,
yeah.
what type of monkey would you be?
I don't know.
I'd be the one that gets hurt all the time. Is that
Mr.
is the
Bump.
Mr. Bump version of monkeys?
Just covered in bandages.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess a bear. A bear.
You'd be a bear.
I'd be a bear that thinks
Bear
he's a
monkey.
monkey.
A bear monkey.
How did you guys choose your name?
Yeah.
Oh well, when we started the band, we had the first thing we did really was start a WhatsApp group with the 3 people who were in it. Carlos, our bass player now, wasn't in it at the time, but we did have another bass player called Luke, who's an awesome guy. Still is an awesome guy, but he's not in the band anymore.
I was going to say, was is
He's
quite
not as
sinister.
old.
Yeah, he's not dead, and he's still really cool. And I just used the wrong word. But so the 3 of us had this back and forth going, and we must have gone through about 100 different suggestions for names.
If I remember rightly, you were at work and you didn't say anything for about 6 hours.
Probably.
And there was probably...
I did say things at work to the people at work in that 6 hours. I wasn't silent for the entire time I was there.
Well, in my world,
I didn't say anything to you.
Yeah, in his world, you were dead.
Yeah,
you know?
you'd finished. And then you came on after 1,000 names had been posted.
You and Luca posted 1,000 names. Well, that's a lot. It was a lot of names.
It was close to 1,000.
I think I just went on there every now and again to go no.
No. That is your role in the band. Is that everyone else is the one contributing content, and Matt's going, I don't like that. It was down the rabbit hole, was it? Just one suggestion off the back until you got to the name I can't say.
Well, I was. I was a little bit frustrated with the process by the point I suggested Supersonic Death Monkey as a bit of a joke, and then Dave.
Everyone was like, yes.
And Luke went, yeah, that's pretty good, and I was like, oh, all right then. But then, so I wasn't sure of it to begin with. But then you found the logo, or found the illustrator who designed the logo.
And a name would only work for me if you can see a logo.
Yeah.
So if there was a really good name but you can't see a logo, what's the point?
I completely agree.
It has to. In my mind, it always wanted to be like a death bat. It's a trademark. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. So that's how we arrived at it. They liked it, and I suggested it, so I couldn't really go back on it. And now I think it's amazing. I think it's a really good name. It's
definitely memorable.
My band's called Supersonic Death Monkey.
Proud.
Yeah, I just walk up to people.
They're like,
they
didn't even ask. You don't know them.
In the road.
In the street. Like, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
When you were the first, whoever's first at a venue, or even practice. For me, practice. If I turned up for practice first and he said who you with, I'd just say Josh Morgan. And then he'd be like, yeah, what band? And you're like, Supersonic Death Monkey. Like, what?
Well, you're still embarrassed of it?
No, I was.
Oh.
I'm alright now.
You're alright now.
I just get other people to talk. Just get you and get up to say it.
Yeah, Supersonic.
Solve my problem.
I don't think I've ever been in a band that I'm not slightly embarrassed of the name, to be honest.
I've been in loads of bands where I've been embarrassed of the name.
Yeah.
Can you name some of them for us, or is it too
embarrassing?
I was in one called Critical End. That is still... it kills me a little bit. It's hard to say it. I don't know why.
I quite like that one. Am I the only one who likes that?
I think
Critical
I
End.
think you're the only one.
Yeah, I'm the only one in the world. Yeah.
Is anyone else getting a little bit of like a slightly phallic kind of?
Exactly. Exactly.
I've been in a band called Burnt Within. I thought that was awful.
I mean, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I like
going
Burnt
into
Within.
this.
Oh man, I have terrible
taste. It's because you do have terrible taste, to be fair.
You like that?
Yeah, Burnt Within's good.
I think it's different when you're in the band, though. It's always worse when you're in the band.
Yeah, probably, because you're the one
really
who has to
critical,
introduce it all the time.
Yeah. And especially because I always get a part of the logo tattooed as well. I so have SSDM tattoo, Supersonic Death Monkey tattoo, and be like, yes. And people ask me and be like, what's wrong with you?
Right there. Yeah. I don't know what SSDM is.
Supersonic Death Monkey. Oh, is it S? Is it one word?
Because, it kind of makes SS. We were like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
I always think SS is a shift.
I never came to that conclusion.
SS. No, we don't want to be anything to do with them, so we just SDM.
Fair enough.
They were pretty bad.
And it is just one word.
I think you should make it all one word. Hyphenate or
It's one of the things about it that is difficult is when there's another band, when we do gigs, if there's another band with a long band name as well, then
there's only you two on the poster.
The Facebook event box is only so many characters long, and you get promoters going, I'll put you on there as SDM because your name's just too fucking long. So are we allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We swear too much.
Yeah, we do.
SDM on his hat.
He does have SDM.
That's pretty sick, actually.
Nice.
So speaking of names that I can't pronounce, and I'm gonna definitely fuck this up, EP is called Mega Simian Rampage.
It is called.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Recognise.
No, I was very proud. I'm not gonna diss on that. Don't even.
Yeah.
You said it kind of Mega Simian Rampage.
It's because I've got a real habit on this
there's no
podcast
question
of
mark.
pronouncing everything wrong. Like, it's at the point now where I just look at them and I'm like, Matt, read that word out.
It's not as
Like,
bad as when we did the Rammstein versus
oh my
AWS
god, because it was like, yeah.
Yes. And we neither of
Hungarian,
us.
are they?
Yeah.
So we were doing Hungarian and German names and we just butchered everything.
I know a little bit of Hungarian, but only enough to pronounce certain letters, not enough to
It was
pronounce
so
them.
bad.
Do you think that's unusual? Yeah, I would say it's quite unusual to know any Hungarian.
I dated someone who's Hungarian, so I learnt some because of her. Not
Again, that's quite
That's
unusual.
should date someone who's Hungarian.
That's the
Hey,
solution.
it's a
is
really
the,
horrible language. Not to hear, not to hear. It's just difficult to speak. It's very complicated.
You're killing it this week. I'm
Well, she
loving it.
showed. I remember my ex partner showed me a language tree showing you how all languages developed from a certain point, and completely separate to that tree is Hungarian on its own little tree. So
See, this is what it's like to be on the podcast with us. How did we start talking about languages? We don't know. Is it relevant? Doesn't matter. That's what we want to talk about.
you want a metatextual tangent about being on the podcast?
Yeah.
Talk about Mega Simian Revenge.
Rampage.
Wow, man.
Oh.
I've been saying that all week as well. I've been promoting this to friends all week like that.
That's really dumb.
My bad, guys.
So we've got a 4-track EP. Do we have a favourite?
Fake Town.
Yeah, that's your favourite there. Yeah, maybe that one. I don't know. I like them all. It's not really. It is 4 tracks, kind of, but the second track is just a really
It's
short
a short one, yeah.
intro to the third track.
Yeah.
I like Start of Something the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
probably-
said particularly that one,
Yeah.
didn't you?
That always goes over really well at gigs.
I
That's
can
a
imagine
little-
that being huge.
Yeah, it's a bit slower and more vocal based than
Well,
a lot of the stuff we do.
Do we normally play it after Fake Town?
We do go
Kinda
from
brings it
one
back
to the other,
down.
yeah, because Fake Town's very fast, and then we normally go straight from that into Start Something Like It does an EP. We normally play actually the set list we've been playing. We play the EP as is, then we play a couple of songs to start with, and then we start into Zombies, and then we just play the EP.
I don't really.
We stop and say hello.
Don't really pay attention to set lists.
I know, but you play it every time, but then you read it and then completely forget what order.
Yeah, I'm
it's
like
in.
Rain Man.
Yeah.
It's a
With
set
more
list
drums.
Rain Man with more drums. Yeah. I want one
I'm
of
on
them
board with
suits though.
What the song's about, guys?
Ooh, okay. I'll fill this one. I wrote all the lyrics.
Yeah.
So Zombie is the first track. In Derby, there's quite a big problem in the centre of town with like Mamba, spice, that drug.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of it, isn't there?
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
and so there are literal zombies on the streets in the town where I grew up and where I work and where I had a business that I ran, and just outside I would see these guys, and obviously so it's just a horrible drug, and it does horrible things to people and horrible effects on communities, and like the centre of Derby just had a horrible effect, and that's what that song's about. So that's that. And it's not particularly judgmental. Like people do drugs for all sorts of different reasons, and I'm not angry at those people. It's just sad.
Observation.
Yeah, it's an observation. It's just kind of sad that's how it is. Fake Tan Megalomaniac.
That's quite a name.
Yeah.
I'm on board with
Who
that.
do you know who's got a fake tan and is a
I
megalomaniac?
mean, I don't know anyone, man. Nobody in the news.
You don't know him personally,
Yeah.
but you know him.
It's about a particular.
He's your friend of mine.
Was there a person that inspired
Donald
this then?
Trump.
A specific
I was going to
person?
say Jesus. That was.
Was there a specific person who inspired Fake Tan Megalomaniac?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Yes,
much
there
so.
was. So very much a specific arsehole.
Mr.
If you won't say on mic, will you say off mic?
We already said it on
I
mic.
said it to
Oh,
him.
did they?
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
yeah.
behind. You're behind.
Sorry.
Yes, Donald J. Trump,
Ah,
That fella,
okay.
the man.
That dude. He's basically a cunt, isn't he? And that's what the song's about. And I love America. I've been to America loads of times. Most of the music and films and everything that I've been into my entire life has been American. And every time I've been to America, the people there are brilliant. I'm certainly not anti-American or anti-capitalist or anything like that.
Anti-Trump.
He's
Anti a very
flat
specific
fucking
American.
idiot.
I'm not
Yeah.
even. We can't, without getting too political. His supporters If we can call them that.
Well, we can. That's what they are.
What's-
Yeah, actually.
I bet even them didn't really know what they were getting into.
Some of them probably know. I know. Yeah, he's just a dick, and that's what the song's about.
But as someone who is anti-capitalist and cautionary towards America, I don't like him either. And we can say that on mic.
Well, we've said it on the podcast enough times.
Do you have American listeners?
Yes, actually,
Yeah,
predominantly
so-
American listeners.
Predominantly.
Yeah. Sorry,
You
guys.
know what? But
Uh,
if they
well,
listen to us
like I
consistently,
say,
they've got to
It's
be
not
on board.
Americans. It's just one man.
Yeah.
And I think America's on the way to disowning him. So
Hey,
It's a
it's
very-
You'd hope so.
close to impeachment, we hope. Hey, Donald Trump, if you're one of the one of the listeners,
it's on in the White House all the time.
That would. Wow.
How
Yeah.
phenomenal.
turn off Fox News and listen to this.
It kicked right off, wouldn't it?
Oh, he's falling out with Fox News, though.
Is he?
Yeah, let's
Oh,
not get into it.
Let's
yeah.
not go there. Right.
Yeah.
Start off something. Last track. Veronica.
Yeah, Start of Something's. It is a little bit different. Track's a little bit slower for us. It's more sort of vocal based, that one. And
yeah.
that was sometimes I sit down to write lyrics with a good idea of what I'm going to write a song about, and other times I just have lines that sound good, and then I sort of try and work out, well, what does this mean afterwards.
Work backwards.
And that's the way Start of Something came together, because we wrote it. Carl's our bass man. He brought in a couple of riffs that we started jamming on.
I did the weird beat.
You had the beat,
Yeah.
and I just brought in some other bits to tie everything together, and then we were jamming it. And to begin with, I was just doing that. I don't know if you've ever heard like the way that James Hetfield and Metallica start off writing lyrics. They just go like with the syllables,
Yeah,
Mm.
with
like
the sound
yeahs and
rather than-
R's and stuff like that. And we did that to begin with.
And if you
We had to
Metallica,
plan the
half of the
vocal
lyrics
melody
were in
out that way, and then start putting words over it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of it's worked out to be, it's sort of a breakup song.
Huh.
It's almost about like the ending something that's not really working with someone who's not really very good for you, and starting something new just sort of on your own.
So not like a broad inspiration for the whole EP, just certain songs that certain
No,
things.
there's no like concept or theme or anything like that. Each song we just write.
It's a bit more how writing goes, isn't it?
Would
Particularly
you
as a smaller band.
would you describe the song as slightly emo?
No.
Ah man, because I'm trying to stick to my type here.
If it's more vocal based, that certainly will be your type,
Yeah.
because you only care about you. Because you're like, I can sing this, so.
I do
Yeah.
think like that a lot, actually.
I know.
Often in the car, I'm like, I can sing this. So,
It's
So I like
it's
it.
emo in the sense that I suppose it's maybe emotional.
yeah.
Yeah.
It has emotion
Oh, man.
attached
my thing.
to it.
Well, they all do. All songs are emotional, aren't they? They all
No,
do.
hey,
there's
let's
gonna-
not
have you
put that
heard
on
the
all
Pie
songs.
songs?
Some
Like,
songs are
yeah.
bad. Yeah.
It's about
Well, I suppose it's more of a personal. It worked out.
It's
being
less of a
like
social commentary than the others, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. But all right.
Hey.
Backed into a corner, ganged up against
But
you.
like
Got
I
it.
say, that was the one that didn't start out with like I'm going to write about this. It started out as like,
Yeah.
well, that line sounds cool, and then that line rhymes with that line, and that line sounds cool, and then you've got like you usually end up with like a verse and a chorus like that, and then you get to the second verse and you're like, right, at this point we need to kind of work out what
Yeah, you
this
need a
is that
theme,
we're dealing
yeah.
with, and that's how it came together.
Cool. Should we take a little break to put some clips in, have a little listen?
Yeah, sure. Here's some songs.
And we are back. We've just you've heard some clips. We've not actually heard anything because we've heard it before.
Why would you break the magic of podcasting?
There's no magic. We hold everything. Like, we're obvious about everything.
We
like,
listen to the songs usually.
We do usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've already heard these ones, and they've definitely heard it. So there we go.
How long did recording take, out of interest?
2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, a weekend.
It's a pretty good time, actually.
That's a good,
Yeah.
solid 2 days.
Yeah.
That was the most pointless sentence I've
No,
ever
it is.
used.
Like, I mean, recording
It's a
from
lot,
our
yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
how long did it take to get 2 songs for us? 3 days?
Without mastering, it would have been 2 days, I think. 2.5 days.
To be fair, we did go back actually because we got the mixes and we did go back for a couple of hours just to sort of remix.
Touches, yeah.
We didn't do any extra recording, but we went over some of the guitar sounds and the levels and stuff, and changed the snare drum sounds.
Did you Saint Anger it?
It's kind of it's a little bit. It's quite a metallic resonance on there, isn't it?
When they managed to get to less than that. When you hear it in person, it's really got a crack.
You like a real like.
It's a Joey Jordison.
Yeah.
As a plug.
Go through your all your gear.
No.
That's
Did
like,
you guys
I
talk-
sort of understood
Do you guys
that.
talk about gear on this?
Yeah.
Sometimes we do, and it's a lot of like you asking me questions about things normally, and me guessing an answer if it's not a drums question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll call a guitarist.
Yeah.
I love talking about gear. This is not my favourite thing about playing gigs, but almost my favourite thing about playing gigs is talking to other guitarists about what pedals they've got.
Do you have like a theme? Are you like a specific brand whore, or do you like
A little bit of
yeah.
an electro harmonics fan with a lot of those pedals, and
pretending I know. I don't know.
Ask them what guitar they've got.
we have a guitar.
Is it
It's a guitar.
Is it electric?
Is it the same one as Ed Sheeran? Gets
Actually,
beat now of podcast, my own podcast.
my partner has the same guitar as Ed Sheeran.
Really?
Yeah, she bought it because she loves Ed Sheeran.
That's good.
Sad.
Yeah, I don't like Ed Sheeran.
Somewhat.
Sorry, Ed Sheeran, famous listener.
Yeah, who's also a listener of the podcast, along with Donald
I
Trump.
prefer
We sit and
Ed
watch
Sheeran
it
to Donald
together.
Trump.
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. 100%.
If you're like, do you want to listen to Ed Sheeran's music? I'd be like, not really.
Who would you have in charge of your country?
But
I'd go for
do
Ed
you want to
Sheeran.
have Ed Sheeran in charge of America? I'd be like,
I would.
All right,
Yeah,
fair
give
enough.
him a
Let's
go.
give him a go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Clearly, we're giving anyone a go now. So.
I'm not letting an English national take control of America. No way. Donald
Just
Trump.
because we don't want to be blamed
I
for
don't.
it.
I mean,
Support
I think
Donald
a lot
Trump.
of people in
You
America
heard it
say
here.
that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So do you have an EP debut gig, or have you just been playing the songs?
We've just been playing the songs. We've been playing the songs before we recorded the EP.
I think I remember seeing your set list because we've played with you before. I remember seeing "Fake Time" written on one of them, and I had a giggle to myself because you'd already left, and I was like, "Ha, set list." Wait, these are all got silly names, and I think Zombie was on there as well, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I think.
Probably my set list.
It was your set list. I was setting up the kit after you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just get
You know, I don't like to leave mine on stage, not because I think anyone will want it, but because I think it's like leaving like rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah, and I feel
someone
like
else's
that.
work area.
Yeah, because you're like, it feels like, and then sometimes people do want them, and you're like, I was literally going to bin it, so have it.
I definitely I don't think it's worth anything or anything like that, but I just feel like I've left a piece of. It's just in someone's way. It's like, well, just tidy up after yourself.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't be that guy who leaves all his shit.
Well, I've got to
in the
move
way.
loads of symbols and shit.
Yeah,
so
you don't.
I don't care
You're
about
not
a piece
bothered,
of
are you?
paper.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, right?
You're not
but
bothered.
it's
I'm
the last
busy,
thing on my mind.
Yeah.
I feel that, especially because like I suppose you won't get it so much because you're a singer that also plays a guitar, but like being the drummer, still
mental.
carrying all your gear out, and the singer is sat there like, oh, my life is so hard. I had to carry this whole tiny little microphone with me.
I do that more now.
Sometimes at gigs the stages are quite small, and if we're on in the middle,
nightmare.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
I've got to quickly run past them two with stands and cymbals.
And invariably they want to do something that's in the way first, and you're like, I've
they've
got to wait
just
for you to
got a
finish
cable
now. Yeah.
pulling it out like that.
Like, can you move?
I'm like, mate, come on. And then when you finish, you got to do it again.
This is going to turn into
And
a
you're
rant
knackered.
with some drummers now.
Mhm.
And you're knackered when you finish.
When you're finished.
And I've got to do it all again. Run past you.
You sound
Yeah.
genuinely upset now.
Well, I'm airing. I'm vented.
Guys, what influences do you have for this EP? Or in general.
I think
Yeah.
you're
Sound.
trying to desperately drag it back to that list of questions. you sent
Sometimes.
us.
Hey,
Yeah, we
this
need
is
to,
different
like-
stuff. I haven't read the list of questions. I'm
is-
actually interested.
If you want me to go on tangents, I can go on.
Yeah.
It's Josh.
I got to make sure we hit certain things that
Yeah.
listeners ask.
What?
Right.
I don't know. This is this. Go on. If you.
What do you listen to? Start there.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
The band as a whole, if you wrote down all the influences on paper, it wouldn't work.
Well, like, what do you do listen to?
Well, I listen
Individually.
to Slipknot, Korn, a load of new metal stuff,
Yeah.
and then I mix in
Maybe
odd
it's a drummer
bands
thing.
that interest me. If a song interests me, I'll listen to that.
Mhm.
That'd be, say, like a Lamb of God song, Redneck or something. I love that. But that's probably one of the two that I like by
Yeah.
them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have this main track, and then everything around it just filters around. So
Mhm.
the drumming is around all of that.
Yeah.
But then when you put that with Josh's influence, as you'll hear in a minute, it wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you listen to?
Well, all sorts of sort of guitar-based rock and metal, but I suppose if I give you like my top 5 bands ever, because I'd have sat and thought about this for quite a while, that'll give you a sense of some of the things I listen to. So Sabbath is like where it starts from. They invented all of it, and everyone else has just taken one thing that they did in the first 8 albums and developed it into a whole style of music. Megadeth, because when I was a kid, they were just my favourite band, the first heavy band I listened to, and I really like the guitars and not so much the vocals or the politics, but like the sound of the records. Clutch, first kind of stoner band I got into, and I really love them because they're a really good stoner band, obviously, but there's more going on. There's really interesting lyrical ideas, and there's really good all-round songwriting. I love NoFX because I love punk music as well, and they are at times I saw them a few weeks ago, really frustratingly bad when I saw them, but also genius at the same time. There's just they're a proper old punk band. They don't really give a fuck, and sometimes they're amazing, sometimes they're terrible, but they're always interesting.
That's pretty punk, really.
Yeah. And then I guess the other band would be like Pantera, because like the heavier kind of 90s metal sound. And
Well, yeah, because we were listening to the album, we thought it had like the sound quality was quite similar to a lot of the sort of 80s thrash band. It sounded tonally a little bit similar, but like wouldn't have guessed most of those influences.
But it's just because then you've got Kyle, who
And
likes
Carl's-
Soundgarden.
yeah, Carl's very
Alice in Chains.
Oh, that's grunge, dude.
guy. Yeah.
proper.
I wouldn't have guessed that either. Cool.
But that's like, but definitely didn't set out to be like, we want to be this genre of rock band or this genre of metal
Yeah,
band.
just wherever it takes you.
Exactly.
If we get put in this stoner category or something like that, how many stoner bands have double bass?
No.
It's weird, isn't it?
We do kind of get put in with that, and it's cool because I like a lot of those bands, but
I mean, you don't really get to choose where you end up labelled as, do you?
no,
Other
it
people
makes,
pick that
and you
for
know what as well, it makes it difficult in a way marketing
To
it
explain.
to like, because people
What you
want to know
like.
immediately, like, tell me one word that describes your band.
Like,
Yeah, and we struggle a bit with that because I think we try and mix it up. At least we think we mix it up a little bit.
If you, for example, stoner. If someone set out, I really like stoner rock, I'm going to see this band because they're a stoner rock band. You're then going to be, it's going to go one of two ways on it. You're going to really like it or be like, well, that bit's too fast, that's not my vibe. Someone who likes metal might be like, I'll try this band, we play a heavy bit, and they're like, oh yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But it fits all over the place. If you like it, you like it. That's what it is.
Suck it and see.
And the songs are never written, we have to be like
not
this.
to match you, yeah.
I do my bit. Kyle's got free reign on his bit. Josh does whatever, and then it just comes into the middle. And
And then we either decide like it's good or it's not good. If it's not good, forget it. Move on. Do a different.
Move on. Do another one.
So is the EP then pretty consistent with your sound overall?
It's starting to develop.
A little bit. I'd say the first one was more. If you were gonna say like, that's what they sound. This was more a bit some of the different things that we do, wasn't it?
It felt very free.
Yeah, it's kind of that idea of just like we do what we want.
Yeah.
And so in that way it is, but I don't think it's consistent. To me anyway, I think all 3 songs sound different.
Yeah, I see that. Well, you particularly, you noted that like there was one that you preferred over the rest of them.
Yeah, but Zombies and Fake Town sound massively differently from each other as well.
Yeah.
It's Zombies in particular, and then contrasted with the end of the album, you know, it's got that distance between the 2 songs.
Yeah, well, that's good. I like that. You hear a song, if you do that thing you did earlier when you listened to a song, where you skip from like the very beginning to the very end. If it's the same, if it sounds the same as it did at the beginning, it's
why
like,
should I bother?
Yeah, why am I going on this like journey just to get back to where?
Well, I had one problem with it, and that's that there weren't enough songs, man. I actually did get to the end of it, and it got disappointed because there's
it's done now.
There's only 13 minutes on there, so
But there is.
Have you heard the first one?
Yes, I have,
And
I've heard it live.
There's another third, yeah.
Yeah. So full albums, please.
Well,
this coming.
we're working. We've got 1 track that we've got recorded that we're gonna probably at some point just release for free.
Yeah.
To tide people over, and then October we're going to start recording a proper 10-track-ish debut album.
Have you got a name for it yet?
No, absolutely
Oh,
No.
The Mega Simian Rampage though, that's named after the cover art, not after any of the songs.
Okay.
Because Pete drew that picture, and he'd seen the band, hadn't he, live, and he bought an EP. And he'd gone away and just was like, I just really love it. I'm really inspired by it. And I've drawn a death monkey and sent it to us. I'm like, that's not a death monkey. He's like, no, it's more of a squid monkey, that, isn't it?
He's squid monkey.
He's the squid monkey. And he's like, I'll have another crack. And then he just sent us this sketch of this huge monkey smashing up a city. And was like, what do you think of this? Well, it's amazing. He's like, well, do you want me to do it properly? And so he did.
Well, there has been. So the first one's called Blueprints for Destruction.
Yeah.
And then this one's called Mega Simian Rampage. So there is
It's a bit of a
progression.
Theme, the next one, just like everything,
violence.
the monkeys destroyed everything. There's nothing left.
Well, then
It's
what do we do?
just a plain white cover.
What do we do? What do we do then?
You're just stealing from the Beatles.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Death
to be fair-
Monkeys wrecked everything. We're lost now.
Yeah.
You can be the leaders of like the anarchist society of the people that are left.
The
Yeah.
People's
That hate the Death
Republic
Monkey,
of
yeah.
the Death Monkey.
Yeah. Or
People's Republic
Yeah.
of the Death Monkey. That's a much better title.
maybe that'll be the exclusive.
Do you have any fun stories about gigging? Anything weird that's happened to you?
Several.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm ready
I've got
now.
one big one. Can you tell?
I don't know. What do you mean? Whisper it
This
to
is
me.
us.
Right. There was the comment made to Kyle about his appearance.
I'm looking forward to this.
Well, that's brutal.
I don't know.
Well, it could go either way. It could be really extreme the
It's
other
really,
way.
really bad podcast audio.
What
to have
was-
When
whispering
the
in
guy
background.
said,
Yeah.
"I think your image is
Of us
quite
just being like,
Albert."
"Hi."
The levels are going to be awful.
They
Can't
are
get
what the guy
edit
says.
this.
I'm already
Sexual.
looking forward to how
Ta-
difficult this
Carl's
gonna be
image
for
is
you.
quite sexual.
This is going to take actual
Are
time.
Do you not
ready
remember
yet?
Not really. No. you have
Right,
to tell
we
the story.
finished the gig, and we'd packing down, and Kyle was stood there minding his own business, drinking his beer, and a person walked up to him and said,
A gentleman.
a gentleman, yeah, walked up to him and said, "Can I just say that I think your image and the way you carry yourself on stage is quite sexual," which
I
just
for real get
just
that.
a roundhouse. Like, I didn't see that coming.
Do you not think it is though?
Of course, of course, but I've never heard it out loud.
Yeah. Well, this
Said
guy
by-
was obviously
Yeah,
he was just
he's
very
just
comfortable
confident, yeah,
and
he's-
wanted to tell him.
He's
Coventry.
like everyone else is thinking it, you know.
Covent. Oh my goodness, that was incredible.
Surreal.
That was so weird. We got booked to play a biker club. Their
birthday.
Victoria Bikers Club,
birthday.
right?
It was what did we? It was in
No,
Coventry.
No.
Oh, no, Coventry, not the Derby one.
No, an
No.
actual. This was
Oh,
a
okay.
club, like an MCC or.
Yeah. Their first anniversary
Yeah.
party, and it was in a community centre, which had a PA sort of. They looked like the room looked like a bingo hall, and there was this tiny little stage stuffed in one corner with a PA that we had to assemble when we arrived. There's no sound man, we had to do our own sound. And it had 2 speakers, but only one speaker cable worked.
Yeah. And
we brought
a household.
With everything. The PA, my rig and Carl's rig were all plugged through a series of multi adapters into one power outlet.
Just a normal one.
And we played, and about halfway through our set, the DJ, who'd got an amazing PA rig on the other side of the room,
it was great.
That he just used, and we weren't allowed to. Well, I think he would have, but we couldn't get a microphone cable that was long enough. Said, lads, after this song, could you just stop, because they're going to induct a new member into the club. So we were like, yeah, sure.
I mean, like, thanks for that, but yeah, fine.
It gets even weird.
We stopped.
Buckle up.
I'm ready.
And they called this guy up, and they did a little speech thanking him for his time. Sort of, what's it called? Where you're not a patched in member, you're a prospect.
Oh,
For his time prospecting for the club and all the work he'd put in. And then they stripped him almost completely naked, and some like wives and girlfriends of other members of the clubs danced for him a little bit, tied him to the chair, and then they pushed the chair over and whipped his bare arse.
Yeah.
And then they played the Macarena.
Yeah, that happened, yeah.
And some people danced in a line to the Macarena.
Yeah.
And the Macarena finished, and then they went, right lads, you can finish your set now. And that's an
And
absolute...
you're like, you want us to keep going after
we were
that?
just like, we were sat on the stage just like...
No.
Can I just mention as well, there was no lighting, but the corner of the room, they just turned the lights on.
That's really shit.
just like you bug. You know, like in an office, you've got ceiling tile.
Yeah, that was kind
It
of...
was like that, and they just turned that little corner on,
Oh,
and we were there, just in the corner of a room, and everyone was right over the other side of the room.
Yeah.
At the
And you're
bar.
like,
No,
well, yeah,
and
and then
quite a
like
big
there's
room.
this wall of noise from you all being
Yeah.
plugged into the same thing.
Very strange.
It was. They were polite though. They weren't enthusiastic.
They were great. One guy got a bit excited when we played So What.
He did, yeah.
He
We
got
used to cover So What by Anti-Nowhere League when we didn't have enough songs to fill in the hour-long set that we'd been booked to play at the Biker.
That is a long time to play though.
Yeah.
For a smaller band.
Well, it was about an hour and a half by the time we sat and watched this induction
My
thing, wasn't it?
goodness.
I was gonna say,
Whatever.
why would they get you to break? Why didn't they just wait until you were done?
Because
It's a big
we
deal, isn't it?
we
I can't wait
weren't
for no one. Punching in waits for no one.
we weren't the main event, but their club was the main event. And you know what? It's cool because they were really nice to us.
Yeah.
And they paid, and that money went towards recording the
I was gonna say that explains it all.
The EP.
Paying venue.
So it was cool, and it's a cool story.
It's a great story.
It was
Yeah,
good.
it's a weird story.
That is a
It
good
was
story.
I
so
said,
weird.
what's the strangest?
No, I cannot
That- and
fathom
that
it
is
actually happening.
by
though.
far
Yeah.
I
the
don't have
strangest
the
thing
imagination.
this I think ever.
He had to live it. He had to live it. I still wake up thinking, did that happen?
Trauma. You wake up with the visual of him on the floor on the chair.
Sweating.
Yeah.
Sometimes the nightmare is that you're that man.
Yeah.
I don't think it was, but it's gonna be.
Do you know what though? He was absolutely loving it, wasn't he? He was in.
He's into it. Yeah.
He didn't know it was happening. It was that he was going to get patched in. He was so emotional. He was in tears when they gave him the patch.
Yeah.
And then he was absolutely loving it when everyone started dancing around him and stripped him
He was
and
part of
started
the-
beating
He
him.
was part of the team.
He was
he was-
on board.
He was on board.
Yeah.
He was totally on board with it. Everyone was in that room was on board with it, except for the 3 slightly bemused musicians. Who were like, "This is different."
Who was sat next to a time bomb of all of those cables just going up in flames.
Yeah, but it was cool. It didn't catch fire. Played the
No.
gig. We got
Didn't
paid.
catch fire is a good way to end a game.
Yeah.
Plus, going back to what I said earlier,
Yeah.
imagine trying to get off the stage when there was a fire past you two.
With all the stuff,
Just
'cause you
hard.
wouldn't leave it, would you?
No.
Because you
It was my
Maybe like,
kit
can you
as
get
well. That
out?
was
Like,
my
I've got to go
kit.
back in for the amps.
Yeah. It's made of wood. That's going straight up. I'd be like the captain of the Titanic. I have to go down with it. See what I mean? Just leave me here. Cost a lot of money.
You're there trying to drag an entire
I'm still
drum kit.
paying this off. I've got another 6 months on it.
Still paying for this, and I'm not leaving it because I'll get pinged with the bill.
Yeah.
No amount of gala bingo hall gigs is going to cover.
Jesus.
our Heat that we played at Metal to the Masses, that's probably my favourite ever Death Monkey gig, just because it was so loud and
Was that
so
at the
clear.
Maze?
Yeah.
It's a good venue.
I like the semi-final.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed. I mean, I've enjoyed every gig we played, but that one, just from a sound point of view, that was just like wow. I was a little bit scared; it was so loud. So I don't know if I can handle this. But then
Like
I
I'm
was
gonna be deaf.
Well, I am deaf, but
Kyle's
everyone in our you will be when you're as old as we are.
100%.
You'll be deaf as well. So like they say, like metal's like music for deaf people. Yeah, once you get into your 30s, it is.
Yeah.
I'm sat right in line with a load of cymbals.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I can never hear anything.
no one's forced you to have them. have
Snare
they?
drum blasting.
You decided to bring them yourself.
But it's a good job I did. It'd be pretty.
Can you imagine you stood up, just brought the snare today.
Like a little cocktail set for a Death Monkey set. That'd be great.
Bongo drums.
Yeah.
Bongos, yeah.
So I'm travelling light. Just pull out a little kiddie's drum kit.
Yeah, have you seen that? You can watch videos on that,
Mike
like
Portnoy.
professional drummers, yeah, playing on those. It's good. Anyway, so we're coming to the end now, so we're wondering if you wanted to like plug your EP, let us know where we can get it, upcoming gigs, you're playing Metal to Masses, let us know the stuff.
It's all major streaming services. Spotify.
Is it up live yet, or do we have a release date?
Oh yeah,
It's
it's on there
live
now. Yeah, you
It's
can
on there
listen.
now.
Spotify, YouTube.
And I intently watch our monthly listeners.
Dave's on there.
I'm
Yeah, I
quite chuffed
like
at the
watching
minute.
it.
It's going up.
Right.
So I want
I
to get.
listen on YouTube. So do you guys have a channel, but you don't upload very often on it?
No,
Mm-mm.
because there's not really much going on at the minute. But there will be. There's
Okay.
music
It'll
videos.
be kicking off.
Because
We'll
I have
have to get
YouTube
on
music,
it.
so
Unless you just want odd videos of me carrying drums and stuff, then I'll do that for
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
just
Vlog
the
moving the
drum
drum
vlog.
kit,
Yeah.
yeah.
There is. I have ideas of we're gonna do music videos.
Yeah.
We've spoke about that, haven't we? And odd live performance shots.
Mhm.
So I'll strap a GoPro to its headstock.
That's a part of a
Kyle's.
guitar for anyone who doesn't know what that is.
And then obviously some on the cymbal stands put something together and shove it up
Yeah, man.
on YouTube.
Sounds good.
It's
Sounds
just
cool.
like-
Get on it.
It's a lot of strapping and
Strapping and shoving.
shoving.
And when did you? When is the Metal to the Masses final
Yeah.
that you're taking part in?
22nd of June at the Maze. It's the last gig at the Maze before it closes.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a
Big,
big
you'll
one.
have to kill it.
Big
You've got to do a
one.
good job now.
22nd
Well-
of June. I'm on holiday.
You get him.
Yeah.
You're such a dick.
I'm on holiday for that.
But yeah, then we've got gigs as well. We're playing in Rotherham the weekend after. We're playing in Sheffield, Tramlines at the RS Bar.
Ooh.
We're back in Derby in August and September.
Derby.
Flower pot.
Yeah, this is
You
cool.
playing Flower Pot?
Yeah,
I was
man.
going to say, yeah, I've seen a few people play
Lads.
lately.
You don't wait.
The
Yeah,
flower
I-
pot.
on
well,
Facebook, yeah.
I grew up there, man.
But the
Flower Pot
flower
is big.
I'm
Yeah.
with, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
that is huge. When's that?
The 2nd of August.
Okay, I'm gonna have to come see that because that is huge to me.
This is this like people from Derby
Huge
will
to
know
me.
this
Oh,
because
I
I
know
told
it's
like my mum and dad have never been to see the band
That's
and
giving me
because
goosebumps.
it's not really their thing. And I told them like, oh yeah, the Flower Pot messaged me and was like, you guys want to play on our Derby Rocks weekend? And I was like, obviously we were like,
Yeah.
yeah. And my dad was like, wow, the Flower Pot. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
Dad, the Flower Pot. And he's like, oh, me and your mum might have to come and have a look.
The flower
And
pot
you're like,
for
you're
it.
going to hate it, but come along.
I always used to walk past the flower pot. I was saying to you with my dad.
See all the posters.
And you see the posters and you're like, wow, that must be a pretty big deal. I want to play there. And then someone just pops up on Facebook. Would you like to? Well, yeah. Well,
Really?
I don't care if no one's there. I want to play the flower pot.
Did you guys grow up in Derby?
Yeah.
Yeah, and me as well. So we can all. That is huge. I'm so thrilled for you guys. That is amazing to me.
Thank you.
That is bigger to me than Metal to the Masses. That is.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Like, he's keeping calm now.
No,
You can see in your face, you're
I'll
actually
talk
really
about
impressed.
this
Yeah.
in the car
Yeah.
on the
The
way.
end, the end of what comes after Metal to the Masses, if you're successful, is a pretty big deal. But
Whoa, well, let's not jinx it.
Yeah,
But-
don't
Did you
say
see?
that.
you have to say if.
Did you
can't.
see who won the Leicester?
I did.
You did.
That's strange, isn't it?
No, it's not strange. No, they're amazing.
It's strange that 28
But-
double one.
Yeah,
Not from
context,
Leicester.
they're buds.
No, it's strange they're not from Leicester, but now like
From
they're
Derby.
They're friend. Like we've played gigs with Tony Double ever since we started the band.
Nick's like one of my favourite
Isn't
people.
Nick
Nick's
from
amazing.
Leicester though? Doesn't he?
Is he?
He has
I
Leicester
didn't know
connections.
that.
I think he either went to uni there or he's from there.
It
So
all comes together.
He
now.
has a following there.
Well, Nick
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 is
has
the
a
lead
following
singer
wherever
of 28
he goes,
Doubles.
man.
Nick's just great.
Yeah,
you
Nick
can't
is
help
great.
but like the guy.
Yeah, he's lovely.
So,
I've known him
and
for
the rest
10
of the
minutes.
band are cool as well. Let's not like leave everyone else out.
of course,
They're an amazing band.
so he's the only one.
This is why they won Leicester.
He's the only one that
Leicesters.
hooks me. All right.
Okay.
Aw.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
We
Is
have
he
a
the only
bond.
person that's like intimate with you? You
I
looked
think
all
so.
sad then, yeah.
Well, the other members of the band don't hug me.
Do you feel like you're missing
Well,
out?
maybe you need
They're
to.
missing.
You
He's the
need to
Andy of the
initiate the
band.
hugs, and then it'll be like. Then you can. No, not about that.
I'm not gonna force a hug on someone.
Well,
Alright.
that's a good.
It's got to be natural, isn't it?
Yeah.
Guys,
Jesus
on that note, we'll round up. So give yourselves one last plug. Supersonic Death Monkey. Like them on Facebook.
They're on the YouTubes,
Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram,
Spotify now too.
Spotify, but go to our Bandcamp page as well. Search for Supersonic Death Monkey on Bandcamp because that's where you can, if you want to, buy a T-shirt with the amazing logo.
It is a really good logo, actually.
And-
It's really, really
Are
impressive.
you selling hard copies of your EP?
Yeah,
Yeah.
physical
Cool.
copies of the new EP, downloads if
You
you want
get it all.
downloads. It's all on Bandcamp.
And anyone who lives in Derby, come to the Flower Pot.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be...
Anyone who
that's
lives in
cool.
Derby will want to come to the flower
Yeah,
pot
man.
because it's the flower pot.
Yeah,
probably.
They're already there now.
Yeah.
They'll be
Yeah.
there before we are.
It's the place to be.
Alright, Leia, what do we say at the end of this?
We normally plug ourselves, to be honest. and
We
then-
haven't been doing a very good job of that recently.
No, we haven't.
We were musician versus musician. Like us on
We
Facebook.
still are, to be fair.
Yeah, but this is the end of the sound that
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
I
make.
mean, we're still going to be them after that.
Okay.
I just thought I'd undermine you a bit
We
more.
are
carrying
and still will be
on. Yeah, thank
musician
you.
versus musician. Like us on Twitter. No, we don't have a Twitter. Just do it on Facebook.
Is that the only one we don't have?
we can't be bothered to do the others anymore.
Yeah, we're
Let's do-
lazy,
yeah.
so we just do Facebook.
I don't
and
like
YouTube
social
and
media
things
that
now, yeah.
much. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Well, yeah, bye.